all protocol officers, good evening. My name is Stephen Kezamutima. I am a student here at Catholic University, the Faculty of Center for Social Justice and Ethics. I'm doing peace and justice at master level. I'm from Burundi. For those who don't know, Burundi is a small but beautiful country with just 27,000 kilometers square in a Great Lakes region, just a neighbor to Rwanda, Tanzania, and the Congo. That is Burundi. And there's here around most of people, international students that have been meeting, when they hear about Burundi, immediately they ask me my ethnic, are you Hutu or Tutsi? Everybody know about Hutu and the Tutsi. So that is why I decided to write about it, that there are other factors of conflict in Burundi rather than Tutsi and the Hutu. So this I talked about Burundi beyond an ethnic conflict. Burundi, it's true, it has been suffering of violence since a long time ago due to different causes. In this article, I just start by the sad history of 1965 when the republic system overthrew the kingdom by killing the last king of Burundi, called Charles Ndizeye, or Ntare V. According to a scholar, Agnes Nindorera, in her book, Ubushingantahe has a basic of political transformation. This one, she tells us that Burundi has never encountered an ethnic conflict until 1965. The nation was a monarchy led by a respected king called Mwambutsa Bangiricenge from 1916 to 1966. This king governed along with Abashingantahe. Abashingantahe was a traditional mechanism of social justice in Burundi. The people were called Burundi from the four categories. Ubwoko. Ubwoko is ethnic in our language in Burundi. So those ethnics, there were Bahutu, Tutsi, Batwa, and Baganwa. Baganwa means princes. So these are the people from royal family. These also had their own ethnic. So, but when this republic system overthrew with the kingdom, whatever this was banned, now we have only those three ethnics. Batwa are indigenous of Burundi. Some will call them pygmies. These are minorities, and to distinguish Batwa, Hutu, and the Tutsi, there are some physical characteristics. But when you go to the reality in scientific world, you will find Batwa, Hutu, and the Tutsi, they speak same language, they have same culture, living together, intermarried, sharing everything. Then we can say that scientifically there is no really that's qualification of ethnic in Burundi. Though it had been a strategy of colonizers. Burundi had been colonized by Belgians. So they found the Hutu and the Tutsi existed there already because these were communities from different areas. If we go into history, we found that this community of Tutsis came from Ethiopia, Somalia, coming with the Nile River. Now they are Nilotic. And they found also Hutu who got there before them. These ones came from Chad, and they also came with immigration purposes. So from that time, Burundi has been under control of a clan called Bahima. This is something maybe unknown even in Burundi, young generation, even some elders, they don't know some realities about this clan. This clan misled Burundi from 96 to 1993. 1966 to 1993. This clan is, we can say it has a characteristic closer to this ethnic Tutsi, and people would prefer to call them Tutsi in order to create conflict between Hutu and the Tutsi. Because the regime, their regime was characterized by nepotism, favoritism, because all three presidents of that clan who led Burundi, who ruled, were from same family. They were cousins. This, for those who read about Burundi, you know about Michel Michombero, you knew about Jean-Baptiste Bagaza, you know about Pierre Buyoya. These are presidents who ruled in Burundi and they were from same family. They were cousins. So that regime were really characterized by this division to divide and rule, because they were mentored by these colonizers. So they had their system and they managed to control Burundi and all Burundians from different communities who were there. So division, injustice, impunity, manipulation of youth, unique ruling party are the first one who created this in Burundi, who started this in Burundi. Having bad governance, it had been their own way of rule. And also, from 1993 to 1996, they came back, because they are specialized in making coup d'etat. This Bahima had been the only one able to make coup, and they did a lot. Even the recent one who tried 2015, they didn't manage because they are not from this clan. Sometimes people, they make joke and they say, you can't make coup in Burundi if you are not from there. Burundi is now actually, from that period, 1996, up to date, they are under Hutu regime. And if you follow the news information, you know the current situation, which is going on in Burundi from 2015. So there are many things to analyze about factors which had been causing conflicts in Burundi. There is this issue of ethnics, but also there is this domination of Bahima, and this created, because they ruled that 1 years, and they created terrors and injustice, and now people had been living under frustration from that time until today. Also, there is another important factors to consider. The majority of population in Burundi are uneducated because they live in the villages, they are farmers, they are not really informed or civically educated. So something also important to consider are youth. They are majority in the country, more than 70%. And these ones have never been taken care. So they've never been involved in taking the decision or contribute for the destiny of the country. They are only misused when it comes to form, to militarize or create militias or just create conflict. So with this now, with this conflict of youth, it comes now another factor of generation. Here we see where elders who had been ruling and from long time ago till today they are still in politics. They've been doing different kind of atrocities, and now they don't like to leave power because they will be followed by the law. So they decide, because they are not able to give job to young people or to help them, they decide to to militarize them, to manipulate them, and to create conflict and violence. So there is also another factor very important to consider. Burundi is a country which is rich in resources. It has oil. So this had been attracting people from different areas, and this also is a factor to consider. So we need also to consider the lack of true and common history in the country, where people are divided, young people are not aware of what's happened, and now how can we reconcile ourselves. So this has been creating confusion, and now we've never experienced this retributive and restorative justice, or have this Truth and the Reconciliation Commission. So by conclusion, I can say that Burundi, it is true, it had been divided by colonizers, but people need to get into reality, people need to learn what is the history, and then leaders must create opportunity to a dialogue when they can help younger generation at least to grow up in harmony and a social justice. Thank you so much. This is what I can present for this moment. Thank you so much.